Okay, this will be a little sample job to show you how to use this new configuration. So you can tell that I've already created my job and I've logged in and connected to my Asteri. So I have an orange teardrop. It's an autonomous point. I only have 12-foot accuracy. Oh, and there it goes. It jumped down to corrected. Now I have 2.3-foot accuracy. Before we start collecting, we've got to select our line. Now, normally that was real simple because you only had one line type. It was called pipeline. And you would select pipeline by going up there to the icon on the top right that looked like a little gas icon and click on it. But if we click on this little plus now, you notice there's nothing in the list. The reason why is we haven't created any lines yet because we're now using an advanced concept that we built into Orbitas called dynamic lines. All right, so to create a dynamic line, we have to then click on that green plus button a second time, and it's going to bring up a drop-down menu of the line types that we can create. And once again, you only have one. It's called pipeline. It is possible to have multiple different types of dynamic lines. You could still have pipeline, you could have water, you could have a telecommunication line. In this case, there's only pipeline, so we select it, and it's going to pop up our form. This form is going to look exactly like the geodatabase was spelled out, with the exception of this top option. It's called name. The name is something that we use to identify the line type. We can't call it simply pipeline like we did before, because what if you have an 8-inch pipeline and a 10-inch pipeline? What if you have a pipeline, 8-inch pipeline with warning tape and one without? You have to have a unique way of identifying which line you're selecting. So we just put a name. I'm just going to call it Mike. Doesn't matter what the name is. It's so that you can identify it in the field. Remember, that name doesn't really go anywhere in the geodatabase. Then the first geodatabase field is asset type. Let's select it. We're going to select ductile iron. Then regulatory type. It's gathering. Then you're just going down through the list, and these are the fields that are in the geodatabase. So if you have questions about what they mean, you'll have to reference the geodatabase documentation. I honestly don't know on all cases, but most of them are pretty explanatory. Is there warning tape? Yes or no? We'll put yes. Is there tracer wire? We'll leave it to no. Nominal diameter, 12. Outside diameter, maybe it's 45. Diameter units, it's in inches. Operating pressure, 200. What are the units? PSI. Measured length, 120. I will say you could leave this blank and we could capture this from the GIS data. That is one option that we could do. And then if that's the case, then the length units also would be captured from the GIS data. Length source, again, we can capture this from the GIS data. I'm just going to select subfoot for now. Material, grade A. Depth, 12. This doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know why they're asking for depth on a line, unless the line is always at a consistent depth, but they do ask for it, so I put it in there. Depth units, inches. Primary coating type, asbestos. Secondary, blue guard. Tertiary, asphalt. Cover type, concrete. Location description and notes, and I'm not sure what they're looking for there, but those are there as well. And that's the end of all the information they wanted on their line. Hit add, and we've now created our line. So the second thing is we can go into the plus and select that line. That's where the name shows up, Mike. We could also go and create a second line. If we know we're going to be doing 2 lines in that same job, we can create them ahead of time. We can create infinite amount of lines, just giving them a unique name so we can identify them. Or we can wait till we get to them. In this case, we're just going to do one. It's going to be line Mike. So that's a little confusing at first. You're going to hit the plus sign to go into the line selection form. There's not going to be any lines in there, so you're going to hit the plus again, and you're going to add your line information. And then once you've added it, you then have to select it and make sure you have your gas pipeline icon at the top right. Now we're ready to collect data. So we're going to go down here, collect our first point. Location name is going to be irrelevant, but we're going to go in here and change the location type. And you can see you have 4 types: assembly, device, junction, and just a PointOnLine. We're going to, for the purpose of this, assume that it's just a PointOnLine. I'm just collecting my first point on the line, and I don't want to attribute anything about any of the features. And then I'm going to cheat and use my tap to place icon to kind of come down, place a second, and a third, and a fourth, and continue building this line. And then when I get out here to this point, we're going to assume we're going to hit one of those features that you want to actually collect. So we'll change it from PointOnLine, and we're going to change it to say assembly. Now when we hit assembly, you're going to have the assembly information pop up. What is the asset group? Compressor station. What is the regulatory type? It's offshore gathering. Again, that seems a little redundant to me. Why would it be different than the line you're collecting? I don't know. If it's not, then we could populate it from the line. Some of the information in that geodatabase didn't make a lot of sense to me, but again, we copied it directly. The notes, the legacy ID, which I don't know what they're looking for there, and a location description again. Hit add, and you've added your assembly. We can move down the line, add another point. This time we'll create an actual device. The device is going to be asset group, anode, compressor, controller T, pressure monitoring device maybe. Then you have an asset ID. You have a serial number, depth, diameter. Again, some of this stuff a little redundant, a little silly seeing it's already on the line, but manufacturer, material, legacy ID again, location description, and notes. Click add. And I'm going to do one final one just to show you the third device type, which is the junction. Asset group, it's an elbow. Manufacturer, material. Click add. And we're done.